Hey everybody, this is Brian Goulet of the Goulet Pen Company and InkNouveau.com. Today I want to do a review for you of one of my favorite inks, Noodlers Blue. No particular extreme properties or anything going on with this ink. It's just an all-around great color. I'm a big fan of blues. Kind of wore a shirt to commemorate the color. So let me show you what the Noodlers Blue is all about. So here we are with Noodlers Blue. Comes in, of course, these very fancy Noodlers boxes. I'm being a little sarcastic there. The boxes are functional, and they do have nice artwork on them that Nathan has done. But anyway, that's not why you buy it. You buy it because of the ink. It comes in a 3-ounce bottle, which is a very generous amount of ink. The bottle itself is filled like to the very, very top. Very top. So you got to be careful when you're opening this ink, because it will be filled like to the max. Here, let me show you. There we go. Okay, look how filled that is. You got a couple of bubbles at the top there, but it's pretty much right up there at the top. Great ink. I love this ink. I just am a huge fan of this ink. Not because of anything spectacular either. It's just the color. The color just grabs me with this ink. So here it is, Noodlers Blue. For this review, I decided to use the pen that I've been using non-review, but I've been using this ink in this pen. This is my Blue Pilot Custom 74 with a medium nib. And I gotta say, I love the pairing of this ink with this pen. I don't know what it is. You know, I never really cared much before about matching my ink to my pen color. But I guess as my pen collection has grown, I've gotten lots of different color pens. I found that I am kind of tending to put the color ink that matches the pen. I don't know why. It's a weird thing, and I know there's no logic to it at all. But let me go ahead and walk you through this review. So the Custom 74 medium nib, it's a little bit on the fine side just because it's a Japanese nib, and that's how they tend to run. Rhodia dot pad 80 gram white paper. The smear test I did for it, this is to test how the dry time of this ink. It's a little on the long side on this Rhodia paper. I know that. I expect that. It's a heavily saturated ink, and I'm okay with that. What I do is I just write whatever I'm writing on it, set it aside for 30 seconds, maybe a minute if I've got the time, and then come back to it. Or I can use a blotter too. I've got a video on how to use a blotter. That's something that can help with this ink too. But I won't let that deter me. I love this ink. The drip test. This ink is not that water resistant. I left it on here for about 45 seconds to a minute. You can still kind of see where it was, but if you drop water on this page, you can pretty much assume it's not going to last all that long. So if water resistance is something that's important to you, maybe try another ink. The swabs, you can hardly tell where the 1, 2, and 3 swabs are because this is a heavily saturated ink. Lots of bold color of this ink, and I think that's kind of why I like it so much. So dry time 30 plus seconds. The saturation is heavy, very heavy. Water resistance is low. I won't say it's non-existent because you can still see the lines. I've seen inks that are worse than this, but it's down there. The ease of cleaning, medium. You know, the degree of saturation in this ink makes it a little bit harder to clean out, but it's not going to cling to your pen or anything challenging like that. So it's up there. It's not the easiest to clean. It's not the hardest. Somewhere in the middle. The shading, medium to high. Even though it's a very saturated color, you can still get a good degree of light to dark when you're writing with this. It's going to depend a lot on the nib, you know, so be aware of that. The flow is medium to wet. So that's what I've found kind of just with using this ink. In this pen, I haven't used it in a whole lot of other pens because basically once I inked it up in this pen, I had like no desire to look any further. So anyway, the comparative colors that I have, I've got swabs of them all. Here's Noodlers Blue. Some comparable ones, the Noodlers Blue Eel, or Blue American Eel as you may want to call it. Really the two colors are about the same. The only difference is the Eel is a little more lubricated. It's meant for piston fill pens to kind of keep the mechanism in there lubricated. Diamond WES Kensington Blue is fairly close. It's not as bold, not as vibrant. It's a little bit darker, but it's pretty close. It's as close as diamond color I could find. And then Private Reserve actually has 3 colors that are pretty darn close. DC Super Show Blue, American Blue is probably the closest, and then Lake Placid Blue is a little bit lighter, but very much in that same genre. All these colors are fairly close to each other, that should give you some idea. If in case you're not crazy about Noodlers or whatever, you got some alternatives here. So there you have it. Hopefully this is a review of help to you of one of my favorite completely biased inks, Noodlers Blue. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed my review of Noodlers Blue. As always, if you have any questions, you can always email me at brian@gouletpens.com. Thanks a lot, and right on.